PWCC is a great way to sell your sports cards. If you're looking for a way to support the Cajun Cardboard YouTube channel, consider using the promo code CAJUN, all caps, CAJUN, when you're selling your cards on the PWCC marketplace. Hey guys, Brian with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana with your December Christmas edition. This is the Christmas edition of the PWCC Premier Recap. We're looking at, let me recheck, I think it was 40 cards, but let's double check. 40 total cards. I do not have any good news unless you are one of the buyers and were bargain hunting last night. This was an absolutely epic, disastrous situation for high-end basketball cards, period. There's no other way to do it. You know, I've been accused of being a positivity pumper. There ain't no way I can spin this thing. The only, qualifying comment that I'll make, and keep watching till the end, you'll see the last three cards were the three absolutely tier one of tier one, massive Jordan Grails. The only qualification that I can make and maybe excuse for why these cards performed as poorly as they did, I don't think it was the platform. I don't think it was a PWCC issue. I don't think it would have been any different on Golden or Heritage or Robert Edwards or eBay or anywhere else. They ended 4 days before Christmas, and I don't know. Maybe it's just too obvious, but it seems to me like there's not a lot of people out there that are looking to spend $250,000 or $100,000 on a sports card 4 days before Christmas. I mean, everybody's got some type of financial obligation at this point in the year, right? It's we're winding up the calendar year. There's a lot of, in my particular business in real estate, I know that has slowed down. I know that a lot of other industries throughout the United States have slowed down. And I know this is a worldwide auction, so there's a lot more to it. But and I'm no expert on world economy, but the results today were not good. So stay tuned till the end. If you're the kind of person who wants to watch the car wreck as you drive by it, today will be great for you. I'm doing it as an obligation. So I feel obligated to share the good and the bad. I've always done that on this channel. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, I ain't going to flip this thing. I'm telling you, I looked up maybe 16, 17 cards. Every single one of them was down except for one. And I'll let you guys figure out who it was along the way. So I looked up about 16 or 17 out of the 40. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get cranking. The first card that had no business being in this auction was the 2019 Select 1-of-1 Zion Williamson Black Disco Prism. It sells for $6,750. A couple of years ago, that would have sold for $600 billion. But today, I think people are just kind of tired of him. I guess they're desensitized. He's no longer the shiny new toy in the NBA. There are other people out there that have surpassed him that have been more consistent and sustainable. You know, the Halliburtons, the SGAs, the Holmgrens, the Wembanyamas, those are the shiny new toys now. Nobody wants to screw around with Zion. As I've said on many occasions, I think the people in New Orleans are just kind of tired of the act. The inconsistency is, I think, it's what's getting to us, whether it's health or just straight up performance. Again, his numbers aren't terrible. I'm just saying I don't think he's taken over the league like a lot of people who, bought his stuff in 2021 thought he was going to do. 1957 Topps Bill Russell PSA 6. Vintage is not immune. Even these nice looking PSA 6 cards. This was a $10,800 sale. That is almost the lowest out of the last 22 sales. That is almost the lowest over the last 2 years. This card once hit $27,600 as recently as April 2022. A little bit, almost a 3-for-1 discount last night. It sells for $10,800, a very low price. 2007 Kobe White Refractor 1-of-1. PSA 7 does $11,200. A Kevin Durant Logo Man Auto from 2019 does $12,300. That's a big ass Logo Man patch. By the way, that's a good looking card. I don't personally collect Kevin Durant. I think he's team hopped too much to really have enduring long-term hobby sustainability. That's just my perspective. He doesn't really have a home. Like when he retires, is like, where does he retire? Is he a Warrior? No, that's not his franchise. That's Steph's franchise. Is he a Sun? No, it looks like Booker's the guy that those people have kind of stayed loyal to. He's almost the Curry 2.0 of the situation. Even if they were to go on to win a title, Booker would be Curry 2.0 and Durant would be Durant again. And then OKC, no, they never won anything. And I wish they would have kept that thing together because I really loved watching that team. Another card that I just don't think belonged. I mean, it's a great card. I just don't think it belonged in a premier auction. These are not the types of cards that you want to sell in a premier auction. It's an 86 Jordan Old Label PSA 9. And this card sells for a horrifically low $13,200. That's the lowest of the last 36 sales. That's the lowest this card has sold for in the last 90 days. An awful result. Another card, exact same story, different chapter. Or what do they say? Same book, different chapter. A PSA 9 Bird Magic does not belong in the PWCC Premier Auction. It certainly doesn't belong in there 4 days before Christmas. And it sold for $13,800. Your graph is going to look very similar. Down from the last sale of $14,800. This is not the worst sale out of the last 21, but it's probably the 17th best or something like that if I had to guess. Just significantly, nothing really stands out about this sale. It's not a great sale. It's not a great result. I just don't like the timing. And I don't like the platform. And you guys know I am a huge proponent of PWCC, but there are cards that belong in the Premier, and there are cards that don't. Here's one that belongs in the Premier. 1998 Shaq Skybox Molten Metal Fusion Titanium. So not just the Molten Metal Fusion. This is the titanium parallel of that, which is hand die cut, serial punched, whatever the hell you want to call it, where the serial number is actually die cut into the card, which is just really unique and fantastic. I do want to highlight this card. It's a great looking card. I sent a message to my good friend David Owens at Riverfront Collectibles. I don't know if he ended up winning it or not, but I told him if you're going to be at the top of the mountain of the shack, you better jump on this card. $14,100 for this Shaquille O'Neal card. Let's get back to our list. Sorry, I'm taking too much time on a little Shaq card. We got a Giannis 2013 Immaculate Premium Gold. Very, very fascinating, eye-catching, eye-popping patch. This is serial number to 10. It's a BGS 9. This does $14,400. We've got the first of two 2008 Skybox PMG Greens. These are serial number to 10. This is Kobe, and it is his jersey number. It sells for $14,700. Those might be more condition sensitive than the original green PMGs. I know that's hard to fathom, but these things, if you look at the pictures from the past sales, which we're about to do for Michael Jeffrey Jordan in a second, they don't even look the same. They have so much surface loss on some of them that they don't even look like the same card. It's just a confusing card and very condition sensitive on the surface. Not as much the edges and corners as the original 97 PMGs, but the surface for sure. $14,700 for that Kobe. What about the great Johnny Moore? Again, if you don't know who Johnny Moore is or why this card's selling for $16,000, go do your research. It's a linchpin card, one of the linchpin cards of the 1986 Fleer PSA 10 set. So set collectors worldwide are always looking to pick up this bad boy, although not quite for the price that they used to. As you can see, this card in February of 2022, about 22 months ago, sold for $90,000. Last night, after about 22 months later, it's down 82%, and the card sells for $13,000. That makes me feel really good about selling mine for $45,000. Not too long ago, I was somewhere on this downward trend, but I'm happy to have gotten out of it at the time that I did. This is a Pop 68 card, and $16,200 is not a good sale price. It's not the lowest of the last 2 years, but it ain't great either. Over the last 6 months, the card's actually sort of tried to find the floor. It's just a really confusing card, having so much value with such a, I don't want to say, well, pedestrian player, not a spectacular, all-time great. No offense to all you Spurs fans out there, but got two Jordan autographs here. The 2006 Exquisite Collection on patch silver Sharpie auto BGS 9.5 serial number to 25 does $18,300, and then the Jordan 2003 SP Authentic Signatures PSA 10 no grade for the auto does $20,100, and then a dual autograph KD and LeBron, who've never really been intricately intertwined. Oh wait, that's right, they did do battle in an NBA Finals a couple times. This one's serial numbered 5 out of 5 BGS 8 dual patch dual auto, does $20,700. And here is the aforementioned Michael Jordan Green PMG BGS 9. We're going to look this up. I'm going to do my best. I'm not an expert on these retro PMGs, but I can tell you one thing. This card once sold for, yeah, you see it on your screen, $132,000 in December of 2021, and last night it sells for $21,000. By my count, that's about 1/6 as much. So not an impressive result. It's the exact same card that was sold at the PWCC Premier in 2021 for $132,000. Same serial number, same card, same BGS slab, same everything. So that should give you some idea of how difficult it's been for the PMG Green Retro card. My question is, in the comments, for those of you who like to look at high-end prices and conjecture and prognosticate about what would happen, I don't think the PMG Green would sell for less than the last PMG Green that sold. I think the real PMG Green from 1997 would sell for far more than it ever has in history. Now, I don't know about 4 days before Christmas, but I think that the PMG Green from 97 is a card that would be up right now in comparison to 2021 values. That's just me. Let me know what you think in the comments. I just think it's an anomaly. I think it's a four-leaf clover. I think it would buck the trend. I don't think it would suffer the same fate as this retro PMG. And as you can see, the PSA 10 version of this card back in 2022, yeah, this card right here, that's a Pop 1. And guess what it sold for? $259,000. So over $250,000. LeBron James Refractor PSA 10. Again, I'll say what I said before. This is not a card that belongs in the PWCC Premier auction, especially not 4 days before Christmas. Let's check out the prices. It is the worst sale in the last 6 months. Wait, oh, two of them sold. I'm sorry. There's one. Here's the other. One sold for $22,800. One sold for $22,500. Going back to our little chart here, handy dandy. Here we go. They merge them together. $22,650. Those are two absolutely terrible sales. Those are the two worst sales in the last 6 months. Those are the two worst sales in the last year. Those are the two worst sales in the last 2 years. Those are the two worst sales in the last 55 sales. That's just a devastating result. Again, I think it's a combination of 4 days before Christmas. Cards generally are on the decline. That card's no longer perceived as special. Whether it rebounds and runs to $100,000 at some point in the future, I have no idea. I'm not that person that tells you what cards are going to do. I'd like to look at the data after it has already been transacted and we've got, known quantifiable sales data. I don't know where it's going, but I know where it's been, and those are two terrible sales, the two worst out of the last 55 sales. The white Sparkle Doncic PSA 10 does $22,800. That's a Pop 13 Doncic right there. A Steph Curry Black Tops. That's serial number to only 50. I'm not familiar with the I know the black, obviously there's black chrome refractors from 2003 for LeBron, but I'm not familiar with the Topps paper product very much at all, and I wasn't collecting in 2009, so Steph has sort of eluded my personal collecting habits, but this 2009 Topps black is serial number to 50. It's a BGS 7, and it sells for $25,500. Another LeBron card that we see all the time is the 2003 Ultimate Collection Mixed Gem, serial numbered to 250. This card sells for $27,000. Moving along, we've got a triple logo man, no autos, but a triple logo man, true one of one. It's Chris Paul. It's the great Brandon Roy, whose career just ended too damn soon. And then it is Kevin Durant, $27,900 for that triple logo man. And then the only card that I actually looked up, and I'm not saying there's not other cards in here that didn't perform well. There might have been. I just didn't look them up on Card Ladder because I didn't have all day to look up every single card. But this Jason Tatum, true RPA, serial number 299, BGS 9.5, does $30,000. And again, you got to keep it in perspective. It's up a lot from the last sale of $21,000. But then again, it's down 41%. It's down, what is that, 20 grand over the last 2 years. It's hit a high up here of 69.71, sold last night for 30, but that's almost that's an $8,400 increase over the last sale. That's a pretty good result right there. So 30,000 for that sale was, from my estimation and from what I looked at, probably the best result in the auction. I don't know what this is. 2015 Panini Replay 09. It's some kind of buyback auto thing. I don't know. Somebody else can explain it, or you can click in here, and I'm positive that PWCC will give you some explanation of what that means. The card didn't really register with me. PSA 8, it's a serial number to 5. On-card auto, hand serial number to 5 in a different color ink, $32,100. A Jordan PSA 10 really old label sticker does $38,400. Again, probably not the best platform for that one, but this one sort of holds its head. It's got the PWCC sticker, which no question about it helps. Maybe it offset the 4-day before Christmas timing of the matter. And I don't know if PWCC just take December off. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see what happens in the December Elite auction with Golden. Maybe it's because I think that ends after Christmas, if I'm not mistaken. So those cards may suffer a different fate. But just December is a tough time to sell cards. I mean, this is the first thing that me and a couple of the higher end, some of the bigger Jordan collectors in the world that I sort of look up to, that I take counsel from, that I consult as oracles. You know, I asked them, I was like, have you ever seen this many high-end, not just Jordan, but like high-end cars being sold this close to Christmas, all, available, specifically Jordan, all available at or around the same time in late December? It just seemed like odd timing, and everybody, was on the same page, like, this is not going to go well, this is not going to be good for comps. So for a buyer, you're happy about it. For a seller, you're not happy about it. It's just the way it works. But this Jordan sticker, PSA 10, is a pop 123, about 1/3, a little bit more than 1/3 of the pop of the PSA 10, number 57 base Jordan rookie card that everybody should be familiar with. This does $38,400. That's down from $41,000. That's down from $42,000, but that's up from October of 2023. So this card's down 20%. With a pretty small sample size of only 7 sales over the last 6 months. And remember, that beginning data point was a PWCC sticker, but so was the ending data point. So kind of take that into account when you factor in your comparisons. The 2018 Doncic Optic Gold PSA 10 does $38,400. Guess what? This card sold before. It's a pop 1. And it has sold before. The same exact card, same exact serial number, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Sold for $86,000 in March of 2021. That is bubble mania. That is absolute hobby hysteria. That was the absolute mega peak of the hobby. It was the peak of the peak. March of 2021, it sold for $86,000. Here it sells for less than half of that, for $38,000. That is a 55% rate of decline for that gold optic Doncic Auto PSA 10 Pop 1. The 1996 Skybox Z-Force Jordan Big Men on Court Z-Pete. And this is the card that sort of gave me hope as I was working my way from the bottom to the top that maybe Jordan could, even Jordan, the great Michael Jordan, the GOAT of GOATs, could overcome the 4 days before Christmas, the downturn in the economy, the overabundance of Jordan Grails available at auction at the exact same time. But nevertheless, I digress. Even this card was down. This is the Z-Pete parallel. There it is. It's not as attractive, honestly, as the non-Z-Pete parallel, the regular Big Men on Court, but it's a rare-ass card, and it is much tougher pack odds. It's got that darker foil background. This PSA 10 is a pop 8. It last sold in October of 2021 and is only down 1,600. So that's almost like a moral victory, right, for us Jordan collectors. Like, hey, if it even approached 2021 peak bubble prices, that's a pretty good result. So I bet the seller was pretty happy with a $38,400 pickup, and buyers probably happy because they've got FU money and they wanted the card no matter what the price. 2003 SP Authentic Autograph. This is the SP Limited parallel, so it's serial number to only 50. I think this was the great Bob M. Trax card. I might be mistaken, but I thought scrolling through Instagram, I noticed that. $40,800 for this Pop 10 LeBron. And then the 97 Credentials Future Kobe Bryant. Stay tuned. We're going to see a Jordan Credentials Future at or near the top row coming up in just a second. But this Kobe does $40,800. Remember, that's serial number to only 73, and it's an 8.5 copy. And then we've got a one-of-one Tim Duncan, but it's not just a Tim Duncan. It's an epic. It's an iconic photo of two of the greatest big men of that particular era. The greatest power forward that has ever lived. That's Tim Duncan. And probably a top 5 center that ever lived, Shaquille O'Neal, certainly one of the 2 or 3 most dominant basketball players that's ever graced the hardwood. $42,000 for this Tim Duncan 98 Ultra Masterpieces one-of-one. Remember, Tim Duncan's rookie's 97, so this is a second-year Duncan. But man, what an absolutely beautiful-looking card that is. $42,000 for a Tim Duncan card is no joke. That's more than my PMG Red Tim Duncan rookie card sold for. So one-of-ones matter, especially in the 90s. Not so much for the 2019 Select Disco Zion 101. of one. However, dual autograph Jordan LeBron. This is the 2003 Upper Deck Legends throwback. It is serial number to 25. It is a minimum gem, $42,000 for this on-card auto. And again, that is if you recall, that is a LeBron James rookie card. And then a card that I think is going to endure very well over the course of time. Not just this particular parallel of the 2008, what's affectionately called the chalk toss refractor, but this is the chrome red. And those chrome reds are a mother to find and to track down. This one's serial numbered 5 out of 5. It's the chalk toss 2008. Card number 23, it's a pop 2. There are 3 graded higher. $52,800 for that LeBron card right there. Right next to it, we got the Noble nameplates, serial numbered 1 out of 25. Math nerds rejoice. This BGS 8.5 has a 10 for the autograph, a great looking patch right there in that little patch window. And the Noble nameplates is, one of the most respected and sought after. In fact, all of the, inserts from Exquisite are sought after and respected and recognized and extremely valuable. But this is 2003, so you're talking first year Exquisite, Noble nameplate, Jordan autograph patch, $55,200 for that 8.510. Moving on, and this was a shocking result. Well, maybe not. I keep talking about my cards. It just so happens I sold an authentic altered Kobe Bryant for $84,000 in the PWCC Premier not long ago. And let's see, this is my sale right there, $467, and this is $883. So not the same card, different card. But I've got it pulled up. So the last authentic altered was my sale, and it sold for $84,000. This one last night for some reason is not showing up, but it sold for $60,000. So by my quick Cajun math, that's about about 30% down, something like that. So somebody picked up a Kobe authentic altered for a pretty good price right there. The bottom edge is obviously the huge concern down here. I'm assuming that the alteration was an attempt to recolor the card. It certainly wasn't to trim it, I don't think. If it was, they did a really bad job, and they did a really bad job either way. But authentic altered, it's real, so it's authentic, but it's altered, so that's going to obviously result in a lower price for that Kobe. I think we saw that the last one was maybe a 4.5, and it sold for $120,000. So same card, just one altered, but one graded for about half the price. So let me know what your thoughts are on that. The big disparity between a numerically graded copy selling for $120 and then an authentic alter selling for only $60. 1984 Star Jordan. This card tells an interesting story, which I told before the story even happened. $69,000 for this PSA 8 Jordan. Let's pull this up. This should be really obvious and interesting. I called this out as one of the dumbest purchases in the history of the hobby when PSA decided to start grading these Michael Jordan cards in so you could find them in PSA 8. This was probably a Pop 1 or Pop 2 at the time, and somebody hit the buy button on $158,400 for some reason. And I remember repeatedly telling people there's going to be an influx and a flood, and I'm not the only one. It was common sense and it was obvious. Everybody should have seen this freight train coming, is that everybody's going to cross their BGSs to PSA. And the novelty of a PSA Pop 1, Pop 2 was going to be a Pop 20, and one day it'll be a Pop 50. And you can talk about how much more difficult PSA or how stringent PSA's grading standards are. That may be true, but either way, there's just so many of them out there. And yes, I get it. It's not the 86 Fleer. There's not that many of them out there, but for people out there who think that this is a very rare card, it's not a very rare card. There are many copies out there, and there are many copies that aren't graded at all because people were probably either waiting on PSA or they like to keep them in the team bag. That's what makes this card unique. There's probably more of these Star Jordan rookie cards in team bags than there are unopened 1986 Fleer boxes. So there are more out there that are going to get graded over time. Am I shitting on the card? It may sound that way. I'm not shitting on it because I don't own it. I need it. I have to have it at some point for my Jordan collection to be complete. So I recognize the importance of the card, and I certainly recognize that it's significantly more rare than the 86 Fleer 57, but I would not have want to be the guinea pig who bought this card at $158,000 knowing that the pop was going to go up 20x, which it did. This one last night sells for $69,000. So what is that? It's only a $91,000 loss from the original purchase. 2002 finest gold LeBron James refractor PSA 7. These are serial numbered to 25. It's serial number 1. There you go, math people. $87,000 for this LeBron I call it a pre-rookie card. I don't know if that's the proper term. He's not wearing his NBA uniform, and it's in 2002. And I think most people recognize 2003 as his true rookie year. But, Topps was so excited about LeBron joining the league. We've seen this over time with supernovas like LeBron and Wembanyama and Luka. You'll find unlicensed cards that sort of predate the license card. But this is 2002 finest white suit LeBron, and it is a gold parallel, super rare, pop 1, only 2 graded higher. 87 grand for that card. Wow, big number. And then what do you know? The BGS 9 actually outsells the PSA 8. So the PSA 8 sells for 69. The BGS 9 sells for, it didn't just outsell it, it outsold the shit out of it by $27,000. The PWCC sticker, I'm sure, had something to do with that. Let's go look at this. The PSA 8 over the last, let's go back 2 years, is down 31%. The BGS 9 over the last 2 years is down 20%, and it seems to have found a relatively steady, by most people's standards, baseline here. So 96,000 is buku money. That's a pop 74. Here's the question. All these people that are crossing BGS 9s and BGS 8s and BGS 8.5s to PSA, they're not pulling those labels. They are probably not sending those labels in to BGS, which means that you're going to have a screwed up, a jacked up, overinflated representation of really how many PSA and BGS cards there are out there. So it's no different than all of the Jordan inserts from the 90s where it looks like there may be more than there really are because they were cracked and resub because there's so much value hidden in a higher numerical grade from PSA. Same thing with the Star 101. If somebody cracks a BGS 9 and sends it into PSA and it comes back to PSA 6, they're going to crack it and send it again. They're going to crack it and send it again. And so both pop reports are going to suffer as a result. It's not going to be accurate, but it is what it is. I'm not sure there's any way PSA or BGS could really prevent that from happening, but it's something to consider and it's food for thought. Let me know in the comments how serious a problem you think that might be in the hobby for cards that, that might, maybe you see cards all the time, serial number to 25, but there's been 61 of them graded. Like, that doesn't make sense. Obviously, we know there's only 25 cards, but it's just cracking resubs without pulling the labels out of the initial pop report. So 96,000 for that BGS 9 is a pretty interesting result there. And it's actually up, 7 grand over the last sale, a little change, a little over 6,000. A BGS black label refractor. So the third LeBron 2003 Topps Chrome refractor number 111 we've seen. This one obviously stands head and shoulders above the rest. It's a pop 4, and it sold for $96,000. I've got it pulled up right here. Believe it or not, this card is a pop 4, and it has sold 4 times in history. The last sale was in February of this year. For $198,000, and it sells for $96,000. By my calculations, that is more than a 50% drop in value, and somebody lost over 100 grand. 102,000 to be precise. I'm not saying that that's the same card. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I guess we could always go look at it. But my point is that card is not looking pretty. And even in that BGS 10 black label, which is just mesmerizing, that card took a nosedive along with all the other cards that we've looked at, except for the Tatum rookie card. 2009 National Treasure Steph serial number to 99 BGS 9 true RPA sells for 105. Here you go. Here's your chart. Yuck. 2021, 364,000. That is more than $1/3 of $1 million. Yes. Then it sells for 144, which was one of the worst results of 2023 that gained a lot of attention and a lot of question marks. That is a $220,000 loss, and that's not the end of it. The card again drops another $39,000 to $105,000. That's a pop 42 card in a BGS 9. So disastrous results there. And then if you thought that Michael Jordan was immune from what's going on in the market and the Christmas, the anti-Christmas spirit, you're wrong. The 1997 Essential Credentials Future. This is an old PSA label, PSA 8 copy. It sells for $120,000. Of course, these cards are serial numbered to 72. Here's your results. This is the PSA 8 chart on Card Ladder for all time. It actually sold on December 2nd for $197,000. Is this right? I'm sorry, I hadn't really paid attention. So it sold on Golden for $197,000 on December 2nd. This one last night, probably because it was going up against two other bigger, stronger Jordan cards, sells for $77,000 less. Is it a platform issue? I don't know. Y'all can comment below and let me know if you think it was. But it sells for $120,000 when the last one sold for $197,000 about 20 days ago. And then next to that, we've got a lot of people were wondering who's going to win, which one's going to sell for more. And I thought that both of these cards would push over $200,000. And here's why, because the last one of these Skybox Rubies in January of this year, so about 11 months ago exactly, or about 11 months ago, sold for $198,000. This one sells for $186,000. So it's a Pop 2 card, and that's what is that? It's a 6% loss there. I'm still trying to kind of calculate these and kind of figure out what's going on here. And these were cards that a lot of people had eyeballs on, but I think a lot of people were sitting on the sidelines. I think people thought they were going to go for over $200,000, the people who live and swim in these waters, and they both failed to get there. $186,000 for the 98 Skybox Premium Star Rubies PSA 8, but my God, what a card. What an absolutely amazing card. And then right next to it, a 97 Championship PMG BGS 9 does $192,000. I've got that chart pulled up as well, and there you go. This one really took an ass whipping. I don't know if it's as bad as it looks. And let me tell you why. If I'm not mistaken, I feel like a PSA 8. Yeah, that's not going to help us. That's way back. Okay, so yeah, this is not really going to help us. I kind of felt like the PSA 8 was about a $200,000 card, and a BGS 9 and a PSA 8 are kind of what and what, as they say on the streets here in Louisiana. $192,000 sale there. It is undeniable that a little over a year ago, the card sold for $288,000. And then in February, that's a what? I don't know. You guys can figure that out. It sold for $324,000. So, down 40% for a humongous Tier 1 Jordan card. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I don't think any of these three cards did what people expected. And as I mentioned, early on in the video, I think the primary reason was the timing. Not just December, 4 days before Christmas, December. They were all going at the same time. And if you guys kind of go click over to the December Golden Elite auction, you're going to see cards just like these, like really humongous, gigantic cards at auction as well. And then I think there's some other even more obscure auctions where people are trying. I don't why anybody would use anything other than Golden or PWCC. I have no idea, but they're being sold on other auction platforms as well, to the best of my knowledge. Again, I'm sorry, I don't have all the details, but if you guys click over to the Golden Elite, I know there's a lot of other humongous Jordans going there, and then we just saw a bunch of other humongous Jordans sell. It just seems like a lot of Tier 1, top Tier 1 six-figure Jordan cards all selling at the same time in what I would consider an imperfect storm. Let me know what you think in the comments, but that's it, guys. 40 cards from the PWCC December monthly premiere. I know this is a lot of ugliness. I know it's a lot of bad news. Maybe you low-end collectors are laughing at the whales who are getting their ass handed to them. That's fine too. But I don't want this to dampen your holiday spirits. I just want to tell you guys, since we're right here near the end of the year and just before Christmas, I hope all of you guys watching and the guys that have kind of, and gals who have stayed consistent and watched the Cajun Cardboard YouTube channel for all these years, I say all these years, these 2 years, and enjoy these PWCC premiere and weekly auction recaps. I just want to tell you how much I appreciate your time and attention and the comments and the constructive, positive comments that you've given me over the years. I'm trying to get better. I'm always working to get better at what I do, but I do appreciate you guys watching. I don't take it for granted because you can watch anything you want on YouTube. I try to make these as entertaining as possible. I try to call it like I see it. There was no way for me to spin this one positively, so nobody can accuse me of being a positivity pumper on this one, but I will end it with this. Cards are cards, man, and it's still Christmas, and everybody still has family and loved ones, and remember the reason for the season. I hope you guys have a great next few days in and out of the hobby. Enjoy that time with your spouse, your your girlfriend, your, you know, if your family, your friends, your kids, etc. Please be safe. Everybody likes to enjoy themselves around Christmas, but the last thing we need is one of the people that we know and cherish in the hobby, you know, making a mistake or doing something stupid or just being the victim of bad luck. So please be vigilant. Please be safe. I hope you guys have a very merry and blessed Christmas and New Year's. If I don't see you before then, or if this is the last video you watch, thank you guys for watching. As always, keep collecting, stay positive in the hobby, and peace.